Hey, welcome to Body Magic Sun and Scorpio Astro Movements class. This is Alira.
Hello.
And I'm Elizabeth. And I'm about to give you a bit of a forecast for the Scorpio season ahead. I pulled some cards for the people who are participating in this live event. And then we got some shared space cards, and we have the card of compassion for others. So this is going to be really important. When I get through the forecast, you'll see why. And this card here, which is really interesting, and it kind of has a powerful energy again. Oh my goodness. So it says artificial hearts, but the idea is that we look at an artificial heart, a synthetic heart, as being the issue, or that something isn't genuine or something isn't true, when in actuality, this is just a distraction from what is actually going on. So that there's another layer, and Scorpio is all about peeling back those layers. And let's just dig into it. So starting on October 22nd or 23rd, moving through to November 21st, in and around there, depending on where you live. The sun moves into Scorpio with the slogan, I transform. So it's all about transformation. It's all about death energy, sex, magic. As we'll see, we'll get a little bit deeper into it. So the first message I have for you is stay in your own lane. The lower vibrations of Scorpio want to compare. They want to compare, they covet, they get jealous. And we want to avoid the insecurity of comparison and coveting the situation of another. Consider that you have spent this much time working on your own life. Why would you want to abandon it for someone else's, where you have to learn a whole new set of problems? It's just, do you want to do that?
No.
I don't want to do that.
Let's go.
Totally. Is this me being chill?
You're so chill.
And like cool? No. Okay. Bye. I'm just going to go in my shell now. Okay. I literally put out, you have invested all this time. Okay. We're going to get there. Okay. So Scorpio in the body rules the genitals. Yay. And for our purposes, we'll look at this as the sacral and the root chakra. So what does this mean? It means that this is a great time to work on opening the hips. This is a great time to work on sexual trauma. I mean, there's never a great time to work on sexual trauma, but if you know, the forecast is favorable for it. And also because of Scorpio bringing in all of these shadows, it may just come up naturally. So just watch out for that. Scorpio also can have a lot of pent up energy. Alongside the Mars retrograde, that's already a lot of frustrated pent up energy. It's really important that we find healthy outlets for this, or that we find patience for when this energy is able to be released, which is coming in November, as we'll see. So Scorpio and Pluto. Scorpio is at home in Pluto. Pluto is the planet of Scorpio, and so is Mars. That's running from 1984 to 1995. So if you're born in those years, you have your Pluto in Scorpio. So the traits are strongest in you, and you will be feeling this Scorpio season potentially more intensely. Mars ruled Scorpio before Pluto, so there are characteristics of both, which is also kind of interesting because Scorpio is a water sign, but it presents as a fire sign, so the Mars. But the Pluto being so far from the sun gives it this icy aspect. So it's like this frozen fire, which is really kind of scary when you think about it. Right? So what, you know, like that might be something to reflect on, and maybe leave a comment below. What does it mean to be a fire or a water sign that presents as fire? You know, being that water is meant to put out fire. What does it mean to be sort of representative of both, or to present as fire and to conceal water? What this also means is that sometimes, because of the Mars-Pluto co-ruling situation, it can mean that anger is the first layer. So anger is the surface layer that Scorpio will lead with, or it can mean that it is the base layer. So it's either very, very concealed, or it's very, very on the surface. And then there's other deep emotions that are underneath that anger, or there's emotions covering that anger. And both are going to be exposed during this Scorpio season, as we'll see with the different transits that are going on at this time. And well, I think maybe this goes without saying, but something that conceals deeply anger, or deep, let's say, resentment, or deep sadness even, that's pretty threatening. I mean, there's a way that it can be like cool and mysterious, but it's also kind of worrying sometimes. So get ready. It's not going to be bad. It's not going to be bad. Yeah. Finger guns really helps, I find, with
To get you through your day.
Yep. You may find that moderation is very difficult. So some of us may be sort of running toward our addictions. Also be aware that addictions aren't just drugs or alcohol. It can be any number of things. We can be addicted to people. We can be addicted to situations, feelings. There's all different kinds of ways that addiction manifests itself. And that could be really prominent at this time. Have a message here. Ooh, whatever you are wearing will wear you if you're not conscious of how your thoughts and emotions are operating. Whatever you are wearing will wear you. So if you are, what I think this means, because I encrypt messages to myself. What I think this means is that if you are unconsciously wearing anger, it will begin to, and even if it's just at this layer, it'll start to permeate the rest of the layers. So if you allow yourself to indulge in any of the emotions, they will just be amplified. Amplified, yes. Nailed it. Okay, so as of right now, of the day that we are on, which is October 23rd, 2020, the sun is squaring our moon. So what this means is that desire and needs are in conflict, and there's a lot of impulse energy. The moon is in Aquarius, which is like the high ideal air sign. And the sun is in Scorpio, which is the depths. So we're looking at heights and depths in conflict with one another. At the same time, this impulsive energy, again, married with a frustrated Mars in Aries? Oops. I don't know.
Finger guns.
It's in retrograde anyway. There's frustration. We also have Mercury in retrograde, so it's frustrating our communication. So our high ideals and our deep emotions are in conflict with each other right now. In addition to that, we have the Sun conjunct Mercury. And what this tends to mean is that we favor our minds over our hearts. The complication is that Mercury is in retrograde. So you're going to favor your head over your heart, but your head can't communicate itself right now in a way that feels satisfying or cohesive or whatever this rambling is that I'm doing right now. This really feels like what I'm describing. So it's traditionally a good time for communication when the Sun and Mercury are conjunct, but it's not. So you might find that you struggle to communicate. There's also that impulse component, addictions mixed in. Wild ride. We also have the Sun squaring Saturn. Saturn is like the stern father, planet of responsibility, hard lessons, like, yeah, right? So Saturn is like the not fun lessons. And it's squaring the Sun right now, tests and challenges to get ahead. It may dredge up deep issues of self-esteem relating to your worth. So it's really challenging you to, let's stay positive, you guys. No, really, it's gonna be fine. Just wait, like it unfolds, okay? So it's going to be a time where, Saturn is asking you, do you truly have this self-worth? Do you truly value yourself? Do you truly love yourself? Are you willing to step ahead of all of your fears and all of that like noisy bullshit and like step into that feeling of worth? This is what the Sun squaring Saturn is testing us on. While we can't communicate and we're frustrated and we've just entered into a planet of sexy time. So that is a whole other level. I don't even think I wrote about that, to be honest, but you can imagine. It might be a great time to be single. Finger guns. Take it away. Okay. All right. We're not done yet. The Sun is opposing Uranus. So rebelling against conformity. Yeah.
My fave.
That is your fave. I knew you would get really excited about this part. But this rebellion could be, and this is what's going to support the Saturn challenge. This rebellion could be what helps you to have more or less faith in yourself. So when you're thinking about yourself being like counterculture, for instance, because that's really what Uranus is rules. Do you feel like, oh, I don't belong? Or do you feel like, heck yeah, I'm like doing something different. I feel great about this. Amp them up. It's good.
Good stuff.
Be
on the fringe.
Yeah, fringe.
Get out there.
We love it. And this is an on-off switch. So you just decide. You just decide that I'm going with this. This is against the grain, and I love myself more than I love belonging. I love what I do more than I love popularity.
Love myself more than I love to care about the judgment of others.
Ha! This is why it's my hype man over here. My little Wayne, if you will.
Not
Not
Wayne.
wait. I meant Lil Jon and said Lil Wayne.
That's cool.
I love a little bit of Wayne. Okay. This is gonna be on YouTube.
We're professional.
So good. Okay. Sun squaring Pluto. We're not done yet.
There's more.
There's more. So as we remember from all of these other squares, that it challenges, right? The Sun and Pluto. So conflicts with authority, defending your position, or making a change. Again, this really supports the Uranus and the Saturn. All of these planets are really their square or their opposition to the Sun is really helping you to step out of that comfort bubble, to step out of that feeling of like, what are people gonna think? Who cares?
We don't care.
Because on the other side of that are a bunch of people that are like, yes, awesome. You inspired me. You're killing it. Like there's going to be people on the other side of that. Throw it again. People on the other side of that who are there to like root you on and welcome you when you make that shift.
It's us, by the way. We're here for
you. Hi. Also, because Sun squaring Pluto means that it's a time of triggering. This is going to bring back past life stuff. It's going to bring back past in general. So from your childhood, and the wounds will feel fresh. But the wounds that are coming up right now are the root of your control issues. So however control issues express themselves in you, for some people, it's like as extreme as eating disorders or, it's invited into their sexuality, or it's, what else do people do to control food? Like, well, I already said food.
Your personal image, the way that you communicate with people.
Yes, thank you.
The way you build relationships and then maintain them.
Yes. There's so many different ways that control issues come up. I feel like just everywhere. So it's hard to give examples. Yeah. But the reason that you are so controlling about something is going to come up as a trigger. So when you are triggered, it would be really, really, if you can, it depends on how severe your trigger is and how objective you are about your triggering. But if you're able to take a moment and reflect on what that trigger is how it has rippled out in your life and created different control issues. Ta-da! And we continue.
There's more.
There will be movement eventually.
A great time of the year this is.
Do you even want movement at this point? We're having so much fun. Sun opposing Lilith. So this works magic if you yield it correctly. And this builds on, I don't know if correctly is the right word, but I'm just going to go with it. This builds on what has been going on with your Saturn, your Uranus, Pluto, in that if you are able to take, oh my gosh, I was just watching This Is Us, and like it's like a big thing about like sour lemons and make something resembling lemonade. If you watch This Is Us, you're like crying right now. But that show is emotionally manipulative. It is.
You gotta get together, buddy.
Okay. So the Sun and Lilith, it's like the magnetism of polarities, right? You have the illuminated dark feminine. And if you stand, okay, so if she's standing across from the Sun, if she's daring and bold, if she stands there and she says, this is me, this is it, it will bring up taboo. So it could be something that you've been ashamed of for a long time. So sexuality is a great one for, you know, if you're a woman out there or a man, or whatever, sexuality in general. Okay, so maybe for reasons of upbringing or culture or whatever, you've carried this sort of shame about something that you're into. Doesn't matter what it is. And the sun now comes in and illuminates that. So somehow someone finds out. Somehow the truth comes out. And this is the truth of that you've been trying to like hide away, maybe even from yourself. You haven't wanted to admit that you're into it. If you are able to stand by yourself and say, I'm not ashamed, that's going to be, with this sun opposing Lilith, that's going to be the most powerful thing you could do. It will literally like transform your whole self in such a good way, because it's like the ultimate gesture of standing up for yourself. I'm no longer going to allow shame to keep me from this truth about myself. And perhaps it's not even, so that was like an extreme example, maybe. The other thing that you could look at is, do you need to belong, or why do you need to belong? A lot of these things that are coming up are about belonging. Let's see, is there anything else I want to say? Yes, with the sun opposing Lilith. I have quite a bit on the sun opposing Lilith, actually. Resist the urge to concede or keeping the peace behaviors. That is not dark feminine. Dark feminine is like, she holds a really strong space. But she does not sugarcoat. She does not, she's not nice for the sake of being nice. Ooh, this is something that I want to say. It is not nice to do something that you don't want to do. It's not nice to agree to do something or to help someone if you don't actually want to do it. That isn't nice. That isn't good. And so this is the kind of peacekeeping behavior, or the concession that we're talking about here. And so what ends up happening, artificial heart, what ends up happening is you have this like martyr complex, or you have this idea of yourself where you're like, I'm always just so nice. And with unfavorable results. But it's because you haven't taken responsibility for the fact that you don't want to do that thing and you're doing it anyway. And that's not on the person who's receiving your help, it's on you. So it's not the artificial heart, it's something else. Haha, we found it. It's in Lilith. This is an important, sun opposing Lilith is important for whoever's viewing this. I think it's my takeaway from that. And also, whatever you've been holding back is the seed of destruction. So if you've been doing this consistently in a relationship, it will eventually end your relationship, or it will be the catalyst for an explosion. So that's, it'll destroy them or you or both. So this, embracing this dark feminine, embracing a more balanced kind of nurturing energy, really. It's like, yeah, it's important. All right, we're getting there. So on November 10th, which is still Scorpio season, the sun goes into trine with Neptune. I don't know why I had to make that trine. Trines are blessings. It's nice, smooth, easy energy. Sometimes it can be kind of like, it can lead to laziness. It can be when we take things for granted. But in this case, it's a higher level of sensitivity and it's more favorable for heartfelt conversations, which is cool because Mercury is coming out of retrograde on the 4th. So by now you're 6 days into Mercury being out of retrograde, you're 9 days away from the shadow being over. So you're starting to be able to communicate your feelings again. And you've been through so much up until this point because
because of all of that.
Yeah, because all of what we just went through is like the beginning of Scorpio season. And now we're getting into the things starting to come out of retrograde. So we're 2 days away from Mars being out of retrograde. So you're just starting to be able to have these heartfelt conversations. This is a great time to start to set goals and manifest. And it coincides with the new moon. So it in and around this new moon time, we've got the sun trining Neptune. And so it's going to be a really good time. You're in the new year, the beyond Samhain. So there's this like new paths are open everywhere. And for more about that, we have our Samhain event, Feast of the 1st of November, and we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about paths opening, literally and figuratively. I will link the information below. Okay. So some time to set goals, staying true to your spiritual ideals. That's really what Neptune's all about, is that spiritual high priestess energy, dreamy, like, what do you want? What do you want? Let them know. Okay. November 14th, we have the sun sextile Pluto and Jupiter. So this is optimism, good luck, happiness, generosity, opening up, more opportunities. Pluto increases the desire. So Jupiter gives us this expansion, like out into this happiness, into this luck, da 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 da. And then Pluto is giving us this like desire for that. And plus we're in Scorpio, so your deep emotions are going to be involved. You're now communicating because Mercury is out of retrograde. Your Mars is out of retrograde, so that like running in place, you can outrun. There's so much promise and possibility at the end of November moving into Sagittarius. And then we're also, because of all of this, coming into greater harmony between the heart and the head. Yeah. So all of these oppositions, all of this like life, death, these extremes, if you're able to make it through this time and kind of find that beautiful balance between the two of them, if you've learned balance through this time of Libra, then, or through the time that we just went through, I guess it's not Libra anymore. Anyway, beautiful, beautiful things ahead. And even if you didn't, still, there's probably some good things ahead. So that's what I have for you in terms of energy check-in. I know that was really long, but there's a lot going on right now. And I guess I should mention, in between all of that, or sort of next week, is Samhain. So a 3-day period between time and space. And the Taurus full moon is just extremely powerful. I won't talk about it because I'm going to do a Taurus full moon class. So you can find that on the website as well. But it's a really powerful shifting time as well. So
if you have things within yourself that you want to change, now's the time.
Yes, now's the time. It's very favorable. It may be uncomfortable, but like we're kind of uncomfortable anyway. The whole year has just been preparation for, it got worse. Okay. You know, like we have all been prepared to go through the most amount of transformation this year. So you got this. We believe in you. we're here for you when you rebel. And so there is some kind of belonging to be had on the other side of potentially losing the other opinions that just aren't meant for you. All right, so we will get into the physical practice next and the meditation. You want to have, what do they want to have, Alira?
You probably need a bolster or a few pillows, a couple of blankets that you can sort of prop yourself up with. Yeah, I don't think too much more than that, really.
Okay, some comfy pants.
Comfy pants, warm socks, a journal if you like to do that kind of thing after you meditate.
Light some incense or candle. Romance yourself.
Make it
set
fun.
this scene. This is Scorpio. It's deep emotions. It's like
get sultry with it.
Get sultry with it. Love yourself. Ew. Okay. We'll start the practice. Welcome to your Sun in Scorpio movement practice. We're going to begin in a seated position with the hips propped up. So if you have a blanket, a bolster, a block, some books, something to prop up the hips. And you want it fairly high so that the hips are above the knees. If you need to, bring in some blankets or some pillows underneath the knees so that you're fully supported. Bring your feet out from you and one heel in front of the other. Allowing the knees to drop down just that little bit more. And you'll feel your spine naturally straighten, lengthening up through the neck, lengthening up through the crown of the head. Finding a deep breath that you send down into the belly. Inhaling through the nose. If you need a reset for your breath, inhaling through the nose. Holding 1, 2, 3, and exhaling through the mouth, drawing the navel in toward the spine. 1, 2, 3. Inhale. 1, 2, 3. And exhale through the mouth. 1, 2, 3. Continue this patterning of breath, dropping into the present moment, into this space and time. Allowing the shoulders to sink down from the ears, the elbows to become heavy. Become aware of your palms facing up or down. You may acknowledge this as a signal from yourself that you're here to release or to receive. Palms face down, you release. Palms face up, you receive. Resist the urge to switch what your hands are doing naturally. Finding that breath, breathing into the belly. Letting that breath press out the edges of your body. Become aware of any tension in the toes or the ankles, the knees and the hips. Perhaps you're squeezing your Kegel muscle. See if you can let that relax. And if you can't, that's okay too. Just accepting yourself as you are, if no changes are available. Feeling deeply rooted into the earth. And at the same time, drawn up from the crown of the head.
finding peace and stillness, bringing your awareness to the space between your eyebrows. It is in this space that you will bring the image of an orb. A black orb. So black you can only see the edges. A slightly different color from the void, the abyss beyond it. This orb, is it moving or is it still? Watch it. How does it make you feel? Perhaps you are feeling its gravitational pull in certain areas of the body. Noticing now what parts of your body are drawn into the gravity of this orb. There are no right answers. There are no wrong answers. There is only what comes to you in this moment. As you become aware of the parts of yourself that are being drawn into this orb. Drawn down to the surface. And notice what feeling you associate with each of these spaces. Pain, sadness, insecurity, jealousy, untruth. What feeling, what word would you associate with the pieces that are being drawn into this orb? Become aware of what it feels like to let them go. Perhaps there are memories, a flavor on your tongue, a sound, inaudible, and yet still you hear it. A vision that passes behind your closed eyes. Let the orb draw all of this from you. as you call it by name. Keeping your eyes closed. Drop your left ear to your left shoulder and extend the right fingertips out to the side. Opening the right side neck. Still seeing in your mind's eye this orb. What does it pull from this space? What is there in your neck that connects with this dark mass and energy? Drawn out and named and absorbed. Relaxing the jaw, relaxing the forehead. Tipping the chin up toward the sky, keeping the left ear toward the shoulder. Feeling into the front edge of the neck. Is there something here? Something with teeth? A creature or beast that belongs in the orb? A binding of the neck that needs relief. See it, name it. Let it be absorbed, pulled by the gravity of the orb. Dropping the chin now down toward the chest, keeping the left ear toward the left shoulder. You may feel this all the way into the shoulder, perhaps even down the arm, extending out through the pinky finger. And each stretch is an invitation to find or identify anything stuck, stagnant, or living within the tissues. Naming it, letting it be drawn out. Begin to drop your chin to your chest, lifting and lengthening the spine. Tuck it in more and more, turning your nose down and down and down. And placing your fingertips out on either side of you, letting the shoulders drop down and down and down. And from the base of your spine, a sensation rumbles up. Pushing energy up the spine, rumbling and shaking up to the back of the skull, What places do you go? What things do you see? What memories do you keep in this space? What words have been stuck here in the back of your throat? Feeling them lift up out of your body, naming them and sending them into the orb. Let your head gently float up. Rest your right hand on your right thigh and let the right ear drop down to the right shoulder, extending the left fingertips out to the side as a deepening of your stretch. And on this side, we call forth what is stuck. We remove gunk. We peel off adhesions or shake them loose with our breath. They answer the call of the orb. Its dark, magnetic surface. What do you pull up here? What words do you not want to hear, let alone say? What truth are you afraid of? What rules you with fear? Begin to tip the chin up toward the sky, keeping the right ear toward the right shoulder, opening the front edge of the neck. Letting the left shoulder drop down. And from here, memories, thoughts, words, feelings, whatever comes up, allowing it to rise, naming it, and sending it to the orb as it is compelled to move there anyway. And beginning to lower the chin toward the chest, reaching the back edge of the neck, right ear to right shoulder. What is stuck in this space? What is keeping you shut? Our throat is the gateway for the lower chakras to meet the higher chakras. And so the wisdom of the root cannot reach the crown if the throat is blocked. Likewise, the crown cannot reach the root. These are complications we no longer need to accept. As we free up whatever is stuck here, name it and send it into the orb, lowering the chin toward the chest, and slowly floating the head back to center, Switching the cross of the feet. If the right foot was in front, bringing the left foot in front, heel in front of heel. Taking a moment to adjust your supports if needed. Taking a moment to lengthen the spine. Find your breath. Send your arms out to either side in line with the shoulder. Reaching out through each fingertip. Lifting the chest, lifting the heart. Begin to draw the pinky fingers toward one another behind the back, keeping the arms lifted. Finding your space to rest. Feeling this intensity reach out through the pinky fingers. And we'll take some primal breaths. We'll take a breath in through the nose and release out through the mouth with whatever sound feels right. Or a deep exhale. Inhale through the nose and exhale, release. Again, finding your rhythm. Exhale, release. Inhale, 1, 2, 3. Release. Exhale, 1, 2, 3. Inhale, 1, 2, 3. Exhale, 1, 2, 3. Again, inhale, 1, 2, 3. Exhale, 1, 2, 3. On your inhale, turn the palms up toward the sky. Inhale the arms up. 1, 2, 3. Let the fingertips meet above the head, holding the breath. The shoulders relax down the back. And exhale, 1, 2, 3. Bringing the arms in line with the shoulders. Inhale, 1, 2, 3. Fingertips meet overhead, holding the inhale. Exhale, 1, 2, 3. The arms in line with the shoulders, reaching out through the fingertips, holding the exhale. Relax the face. Inhale, 1, 2, 3. Fingertips meet. Relax on your inhale, holding it nice and calm in the face, and exhale, 1, 2, 3. Holding the exhale, reaching out through the fingertips. And inhale, 1, 2, 3. Fingertips meet. Lifting the belly. And exhale, 1, 2, 3. Let your fingertips come all the way down to the floor. Walk the right fingertips out to the right side. Left fingertips come up and over. Side stretch. Opening the left side ribs, turn the chest and heart toward the sky. Relax the jaw. Grounding the left hip. Inhale all the way up through center and over to the other side. Grounding now the right hip. Turning chest and heart skyward. Opening the right side body. Breathing into those ribs. Inhale up through center. Release your fingertips to the earth, finding a tall spine. We'll move through a twist, inhaling the arms up. And exhale, twisting over to the right side, left fingertips to the outside of the right thigh, right fingertips behind you. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist. Try to keep your eyes closed as much as possible through this practice. Finding length on your inhale, deeper twist on your exhale. Don't forget to breathe through this. Relax the shoulders down from the ears, lengthen the neck. Relax the face. Inhale up through center, unwinding. Wiggle the fingertips up toward the sky. And then twisting over to the other side, right hand to the outside of the left thigh, left fingertips behind. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist. Deep breath into the belly. Deep exhale to deepen your twist. Finding yourself here in the center of a reset button, coming back to center. Inhale the arms up, wiggle the fingertips, and then float them down to your side. Extend the right leg out long, keeping the left foot to the center of the right thigh. Turn your hips toward the right knee. Inhale the arms up. Exhale, forward fold over the leg, flexing the toes back toward the face. You can bend the knee. Draw the shoulder blades together. Lengthen the spine. Sinking in. Surrender, surrender, surrender. Surrender the tension in the left toes. Surrender the tension in the left hip. Keeping the shoulders parallel. So if the left arm is riding up, bringing it back into alignment. You can release the fingertips to the earth so you don't have to hold the leg. You can sink in, dropping the forearms toward the floor. Begin to walk the fingertips back, turning your hips toward the left knee. Begin to drop the right forearm toward the right shin, or grabbing the outside edge of the right foot. And extend the left arm out of the left hip, reaching up and over toward the right foot, turning chest and heart toward the sky. Relax the left toes, relax the left knee. Finding your breath from belly into the ribs, into the chest, and out the crown of the head. Inhale up through center. Extend the left leg out long. Both legs out wide now, flexing the toes back toward the face. And begin to bring your palms forward. Planting your palms, drawing the shoulders down the back, straight spine to start. We'll use the traction of the fingertips to deepen the sensation. If there's still support under your hips, perfect. That will help you with this stretch. Draw the fingertips back towards you. Draw the shoulder blades together. Lengthen out through the crown of the head. Find length. Wiggle the toes. Release tension in the knees. If your knees are caving in, add a little micro bend. Draw the kneecaps up toward the hips. So we'll stay active here for a few more rounds of breath. Finding your way into surrendering. Walk the palms forward, drop the elbows down toward the earth. Surrender the head. Fully relax the neck. Let the head drop. In your mind's eye, come back to that orb. That shadowy looking planet out in the abyss of space. What is it drawing from you now? What do you have that it wants? Let it pull it from you. You know how to name it. You know how to let it go. With each thing drawn out, you surrender more and more. Knowing you will stay here for a while longer. Breathe deep into the back body, the back of the hips, the back of the ribs, feeling them expand, a cracking open of any armor. And more, the orb reaches deeper inside of you. And know that what it takes it also illuminates. You now know what exists within your legs, what exists in your neck, your back body, your shoulders, your knees. You may experience in your body a resurgence of intensity. This is a threshold. Know that you are ready to cross it. As you release more and more to the orb, particles, fragments, debris that you've gathered in your body, shame that was never yours, things you no longer wish to keep or feed. Deep breath in through the nose. 1, 2, 3. Deep exhale through the nose. 1, 2, 3. Deep inhale through the nose. 1, 2, 3. Deep exhale through the nose. 1, 2, 3. Deeper and deeper into the body you go, releasing the neck more and more. Crown of the head reaches to the floor, elbows dropping down toward the earth. Find those thresholds and walk through them, feeling more powerful as you pass through each, filled with the courage of intensity, of knowing yourself, of knowing your faults, of knowing your strengths. Slowly begin to press into the fingertips and bring yourself up to seated. Bringing the right foot to the center of the left thigh, turning your hips toward the left leg, extending the arms up toward the sky, fold forward over the leg, keep the knees slightly bent. Maybe you reach for the feet, or maybe your fingertips come to the earth, flexing the toes back toward the face. Finding your way into this stretch. Begin to walk the fingertips back, coming up to seated, turning the hips toward the bent knee. Drop the left forearm toward the floor, toward the shin, and reach the right fingertips over toward the left toes. If you're very bendy, perhaps you even reach your hand to your foot. If not, don't worry. Turn your chest and heart toward the sky. Finding that rotation, keep dropping the forearm down toward the earth. Opening in this space. Can you breathe into all of those ribs? Can you breathe all the way out to the fingertips? Inhale up through center. And you'll turn to sit on your bum with your feet in front of you. Hands behind you. If you have a block, you may place it between the knees, feet standing on the floor. You can also use a book here. And become aware of any tension in the inner thigh. See if you can let that go, noticing that with the release of tension, the block is still there. Relax the toes. Lengthen the spine, lengthen out through the crown of the head. Long and strong, heart open. Holding here. Focus on the space between your legs. What tension exists here? How can you engage without tensing? To hold strong without stressing the body. Long, slow, deep breaths. Avoiding the urge to curve the spine or to collapse in. Each time your inner thigh tenses, finding ways to soften and relax. Begin to lift the right leg, extending the leg out, shin parallel to the ceiling. Relax the inner thigh, lifting it as high as you can, and release. Again, find that peace in your inner thighs, engaging without tensing. Begin to lift the left leg, extending the leg out. And release. Walk the feet back toward the hips. Holding here, releasing tension. Drop your knees over to the right side. Breathe. Relax the inner thighs. Relax the toes. Moving back through center. Each time you move, going through that checklist, relax the inner thigh, lift and lengthen the spine. Let the knees drop over to the left side. Breathing into the hips. Those inner legs and the knees. What tension can you release? Bringing back to center. Remove the block from between your knees. And bring your right heel to the center of your left thigh. Flexing the right foot. And you are in control of this stretch by the position of your left foot. So the closer you bring it to your bum, the more intensity you may feel. Try not to crash too much weight into the palms. Letting the right knee drop out to the side. Finding your breath. When you're ready, you'll send your right foot all the way over to the floor on the left side. Coming into a twist, keeping length in the spine. And this may open something deep. Breathing through that. Grounding all four corners of the right foot. Where is there tension? Where can you soften and embrace? Moving back through center. Cross that right leg all the way over the left, stacking one knee over the other. And here you may draw the left foot closer to you once again. Draw the right foot closer. Find your breath. Relax the inner thigh. Where are you tensing at this time? Perhaps the Kegel muscles. Can you engage them without tensing? Can you hold yourself here? Without stress in the body. Turning your palms away from you, one at a time. Lift your hips up off the floor as best you can, lifting the belly toward the sky. And begin to release, lowering the hips to the floor, uncrossing the legs. Left heel comes to the center of the right thigh, flexing the foot, moving the right foot wherever it needs to go to help you experience this stretch. Long spine. Breathe deep into the hip. Release tension in the throat and neck. And if there is a burden on your palms, you can always come to your fists or turn them away from you. Begin to bring the left foot all the way over to the right side. Standing your foot on the floor, grounding all four corners of the foot. Lift and lengthen the spine. Keep your shoulders square with where you came from, with the short edge of your mat. Where are you tensing? The right toes, the left knee. Always knowing that wiggling the toes will help to release tension throughout the legs. Inviting a deep opening, deep, deep, deep opening at the root. If there's shaking, embrace it. Breathe through it. Don't give up. And you begin to draw back towards center, crossing the left leg over the right, stacking one knee over the other Again, moving the right foot in closer to you if need be. And feeling an opening in the left glute, perhaps the left IT band. A long spine, a strong core, a long neck. Breathe deeply. Begin to turn the palms away from you, one at a time. Micro bend in the elbow. And when you're ready, lift your hips up off the floor, belly up toward the sky. Grounding all four corners of the right foot, extend out through the neck. Lifting, 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 and release. Hips down to the floor. Uncross the legs. Lower your upper body down to the earth. Stand your feet hip distance apart, up next to the bum. Arms to your sides. Begin to walk the shoulder blades together and lift your hips up off the floor. Walking the hands together. Ground the forearms to the earth. Let the neck be long. And once it is not long, tipping the chin back to open the throat for a breath. Draw the outside edges of the feet in line with the outside edges of the mat so the big toes are turning in toward one another slightly. Inner thigh rotating outward. Begin to bring your arms out to your sides. And slowly lower down the spine, vertebrae by vertebrae. Pausing at the curve of your spine to relax the glutes. Relax everything so that when it touches ground, you are fully relaxed. Reaching for a block or a bolster. Have it ready. This time when you lift your hips, place it underneath the sacrum, the base of your spine. And allow yourself to rest here. You may stay here or begin to bring the legs out long. One leg and then the other. You can stay as you are here or extend the arms up overhead. Long from fingertip to toes. Fingertip to toes to heel. Finding stillness except for the breath. And in your mind's eye, you see that orb one last time. And from your fingertips and from your toes, it draws out. From both ends simultaneously. A magnetic pull on any shadow energy that you first name before it goes. Seeing its face, knowing its name, calling it what it is. If this is too intense for the lower back, standing your feet on the earth. knowing your edge. Deep opening in the front body. The belly rises and falls. Rises and falls. The shoulders connected to the earth. Grounded. Wrists grounded. Heels grounded. As your root and your sacral ascend. And whatever is in this space that is ready to go is drawn out through the fingers and toes into the orb that floats in the dark abyss. Continue to breathe, inhaling for 1, 2, 3. Exhaling 1, 2, 3. Inhale 1, 2, 3. Exhale 1, 2, 3. Inhale 1, 2, 3. Exhale 1, 2, 3. Begin to bring your feet back to the floor. Begin to bring your arms to your sides. Lift your hips one last time. Remove the block and slowly lower down the spine from neck to the curve of your spine. Pause. Relax everything before touching ground. And do not move when you place your back to the earth. Stay here in stillness. Perhaps you let the knees touch, if that feels right. And feel the hips now anchored down. Everything connected to the support of the earth beneath you. You may begin to move your knees from side to side, preparing your back for rest. If you'd like to place a rolled up blanket or a bolster under the thighs, put on socks, place a blanket over you. Please stay low to the ground. Soft eyes, soft gaze. And when you're ready, send your legs out long, feet falling open, arms to your sides. Nothing underneath the head. So allowing yourself a flat rest on the earth. If your lower back needs support, again, using a rolled up blanket or a bolster. Begin to feel everything melt back from center. Drawing an imaginary line down the center of your face, from the crown to where the hair meets the forehead, and down between the eyes, along the bridge of your nose to the tip. And from this space, everything melting back from this center line toward the earth. And from the tip of your nose now, down to the Cupid's bow and over the lip, dividing your face in half along the chin and down the neck. And from this space, feeling it melt back from center, down toward the ear, down into the earth, either side of your throat, melting and relaxing like warm wax. And this line continues along the breastbone, down your chest, and down between the ribs, the end of your rib cage. And from this space, you feel yourself melt out from center, down one side and the other, melting into the earth. And across the belly button and down to the base of your spine, your genital. Dividing the space from center, feel it melt back, the lower torso, the buttocks, everything warm and melty into the earth. And down each leg, cutting across the center of each thigh, the center of the knee, the shin, the ankle, and from this space, melting back on either side of the line, the legs split in half, melting in two directions, sinking into the earth. On the right side and the left. and from the ankle across the top of the foot. And each toe divides in half. Warm. And you feel your body melted, the earth rising up to meet it, holding you in this space. And you feel yourself relaxed and strong and whole. As you bring your gaze back to the orb. And you see this black orb begin to spin. In the abyss, in space, you can see it spinning and spinning. And as it spins, it shakes loose everything you have sent into it. And you begin to feel everything coming back toward you, all at once, spinning, spinning, spinning. Everything you have sent into that orb is coming back toward you. How do you receive it? As you feel everything coming back to you. Does it feel the same? Has it changed? Can you receive all of this energy and in this moment transmute it, shift it, having removed all of these shadows? How have they changed? Seeing them from the outside. There is less shame. The orb empties itself back toward you. Just like any energy work, the lifting of the burden was temporary, but how have you changed since you last held these shadows? This is the work of Scorpio in our body. Take some time to relax and to breathe naturally Letting the body rise and fall, settled into the earth. Letting any visions flood your mind's eye, observing them from the outside. If anything has triggered you, allow yourself to react, to feel, to scream, to speak. Whatever you need to do in response. These are deep and heavy energies, and there is no shame in them. Accept what you give them. And know that they can always be taken away again. And that you can shift. And each time receiving them back differently, they lose their power. They are no longer what has kept you stuck, but what fuels you forward. If you're at home and it's time for bed, you may just transition into sleep from here. If you would like to pause the video and extend your time in corpse pose, you may do that now. But follow my instructions to come out of this pose whenever you're ready to unpause it, so that we can close the class together, close this work together. It's important that what is open is also closed. So I'm not skipping this part, maybe practicing when you wake up in the morning. So for those of you who are moving with us, begin to invite movement into the face, moving the jaw, moving the eyes, wiggling the nose, the ears, scrunching the face, and then releasing. Scrunching and releasing. Reach out through each fingertip and then wiggle them. Make fists and release. Fists and release. Like little stars blinking in and out. Rotate the wrist one way and then the other. Rotate the ankles. Point and flex the feet. Extend out through each toe and then wiggle them. Extend your arms up overhead, taking a big stretch. Long on the earth, point the toes. Flex the toes back toward the face, reach out through the fingertips, big stretch. Inhale. And exhale, release through the mouth. Two more like that. Extend the heels out, flexing the toes back toward the face, big stretch. Release. One more time. And release. Standing your feet on the earth, mat distance apart, rock the knees from side to side. And turn over onto your right side into the fetal position. When you're ready, this is your moment of gratitude. So I invite you to find something that you're grateful for today. Let it fill your heart space. Let it travel out with your pulse and with your breath. Knowing that whatever work we have done here today has been done in its entirety on the mat, but will be reflected off your mat. Taking a moment here to be grateful for yourself, for showing up today, for taking care of yourself and doing this work. Letting gratitude radiate out from you, filling the space around you and beyond. We're reminded that gratitude is the greatest armor we have in this life, allowing us to be vulnerable and strong at once, to express kindness without feeling weak, to love without fear. It is both nourishing and protective at once. As we bring down our walls, we rise up in gratitude, pressing into your palm, bring yourself up to seated, facing the center of the circle with your palms facing forward. And you now receive through your palms a feeling of connection from the root that connects us all with kindness, compassion, empathy, community, support, all of the ways in which we are not alone. Feel yourself receive it through the palms as it connects into the heart space, surging up the arms, filling the heart with this connection. A connection you can access at any time whenever you should need it, simply by connecting in with the memory, the pulse, or the breath. You now receive through the right palm and give through the left. A feeling of flow, of giving and receiving around the circle. See the faces that are before you in this circle, whoever you feel needs to receive this connection. As you receive through the right and give through the left, there is no blockage. It fully flows through you, this energy. Begin to draw your hands to your heart. We thank you so much for joining us tonight. We wish you all the best through the season of Scorpio. May your shadows bring you to the light always.